Hey nerds, what's up? Today I'm going to talk about my review for The 10,000 Doors of January by Alix E. Harrow. See you after the jump. So I picked up this book at the same time that I picked up one of the books I previously reviewed called The Future of Another Timeline. And again, I did it mostly based on its cover and its title. I thought it was really beautiful, loved the title, and I'd heard that it had gotten some good reviews. This is actually Alix E. Harrow's debut novel. She has written some short stories, but I had not read them. So I picked it up, and after really not liking that other book I picked up, I was pretty nervous to read this. But I should not have been nervous. The minute I finished this novel, it immediately was clear to me that it would be one of my favorite books of 2020, and I actually think it is catapulted into one of my top 10 favorite books of all time. This book is just one of the most beautiful fantasy novels I've ever read. The story is wonderful. Everything about it I like. It is a 5 out of 5 stars for me, so I'm going to tell you why I think so. The first thing I love about this novel is that it is beautifully written. It is interesting because the fantasy in this novel revolves around words. And so it's a great synergy that the book itself also has beautiful words. I'm actually going to read just one sentence from the very first page, so it's no spoilers. It says, "When I was 7, I found a door. There, look how tall and proud the word stands on the page now, the belly of that D like a black archway leading into white nothing. When you see that word, I imagine a little prickle of familiarity makes the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. You don't know a thing about me. You can't see me sitting at this yellow wood desk, the salt-sweet breeze rifling these pages like a reader looking for her bookmark." And then it keeps going and talks about how the shape of letters means something and letters change a word. I don't know, something about it was so beautiful from the very beginning, and the rest of the book just continues that way. Now, I love a fantasy book that's all plot-based. A lot of fantasy is more plot-based than beautiful prose, but every once in a while you get that really blends it, and it's just amazing. The second reason I love this book is that it uses romance in a very interesting way. I don't really like romance in novels, I'll be the first to say, and I wouldn't call this novel really romantic, but it has a lot of love in it. The book and the characters' motivations are really based on loving people. And as cheesy as that sounds, it made the book have a lot of heart and emotional weight. And so I really liked the unique way that Harrow used that. The third reason I loved this story was the way she interweaved the different narrators. The book really centers on January. She's the main character, but there are different viewpoints, and the book doesn't tell you how those viewpoints are related, but to me it was very obvious from the very beginning. And I liked that the characters didn't know how they were related, but we knew how their stories intertwined. And it just gave a really good emotional weight to the story to kind of know how those characters intertwined, but they didn't know yet. And I really enjoyed that. It was done very well. I think it's difficult to hide that stuff from your readers because then they can guess too early and it feels like you gave something away. But the way she did it, where we knew but she didn't tell us, made it okay to know and it didn't ruin the story. I don't know, I don't think I'm explaining that very well, but it was very well done and the plot was very well paced. So I really enjoyed that. Also, I love the way that she used fairy tales and old stories and fantasy that we already know. They exist in this world, but she brings them to life, which is very unique. She's not trying to say that her magic system is some unique magic system. She's saying, look at how many times it's been used, but she uses that to her advantage in the story by making it a part of her story's canon. And I really like that. It made it feel realistic. It was one of those fantasy novels that isn't high fantasy. It's the kind of fantasy that you feel like, well, maybe this could be true. I want it to be true. It could be true. Maybe a little bit like The Matrix. But I don't know if you want that to be true. I also really loved the ending of this book. I won't spoil it, obviously. I wasn't sure while reading it if it was going to be happy or not, and I think that's good. You don't really know how it will end. And I think the characters, she did a good job that characters didn't just automatically forgive somebody when maybe they shouldn't be forgiven, and it felt like the story ended just how it needed to end. And there's so few stories that I can say like, yes, this is exactly how it needed to end, how I wanted it to end, even though I didn't know that's how I wanted it to end. One of my favorite parts of this book was when she was escaping from a difficult situation, and I'm not going to say which, just in case you haven't read it, but she was escaping from this really difficult situation, and then she adds one word and it changes everything, and that's how she escapes. If you've read the book, you'll know what I'm talking about, and please comment below about that scene. I loved it so much. I keep thinking about it. This was definitely one of those books that immediately after I finished, I thought, I just want to start over and read it again. It's a book, no question, I will be reading multiple times because it's so beautiful and it definitely works on rereads. So, have you read The 10,000 Doors of January? If you have, let me know and tell me if you liked it as much as I did. And if you didn't, you should definitely check it out. It was nominated for a Hugo Award, which I think was super earned. It unfortunately didn't win, but that doesn't mean it's not a good book. So check it out. If you want to see what I'm currently reading, you can check me out on bookborn.reviews on Instagram. And if you like this video, please like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time. Bye!